Welcome back, HC Nation. This is Zach Edwards with another episode of the Adventure Box podcast. That's right, we're talking about everything history, brought to you by Historical Conquest, which is a really fun game. You don't need to know anything about history to play it, but I guarantee you start playing it, you're going to start learning just by having fun. So, we're going to leave it there. Done deal. Today we're going to go into ancient China. That's right. I have always been fascinated by the Orient. And so going over this, like editing, getting it ready for publication, has been fun. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. We're going to go see where this goes. Last time, if you listened to my podcast on Monday, you would have gotten me speaking a little Southern and with some dialect and telling you about the westward expansion. This time, I'm not going to bring a voice unless it deems to need a voice. So we're going to see where I go. And we might just like take on a character or two. Hopefully one. That'd be really weird. It's like multiple personalities. Hey, how do you feel? Well, I feel pretty good. What about you? No, we're not going to do that. Nope. No, we're going to stick with one character. See, my Southern. No, I got to get rid of that. Not doing Southern when we're talking about ancient China. So let's see what I do. And I'm not doing Chinese, any kind of Oriental voice or anything like that. That would be a mockery because I don't know if I do those very well, and I'm not going to butcher that. At the same time, I somewhat mocking the Southern, but I mean, dang, you should be proud of who you are. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Okay, here we go. So let's start this off. Hello, fellow time travelers. That's right, that's you. This is Captain Zach Edwards, and I am so excited. And I am reporting right here live from the scroll-strewn mists of ancient China. Yeah, you know the lands where if you look at the pictures, you're going to have all these mists on the lowlands, and you're up high in the mountains, up where the temples are, and then you get to look down at the valleys. It's just covered with mist, a lot of moisture, I'm going southern. It's not the way I'm supposed to be going. Okay. So, welcome to the Adventure Box podcast, where we trek through time, one civilization at a time. And today, we are plunging headfirst into the world of rivers, rulers, and roaring legends, I guess. So strap in. This is the next 30 minutes. I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be talking about three things. These are the three very important things. One, how China's geography, those legendary rivers and rich soil grounds, basically shaped early settlements. Where did they settle? Was it all of China that they settled? Or are we going to be talking about a smaller portion and then they grow? You're going to see a little bit more of that. We're also going to talk a little bit about the known tale in China of two things. Monotheism, as in they believed in one God. And then they also believed in a flood that happened 2000 BC, basically where it took over all of China, or at least the area that they were in. So this is really interesting. The third thing we're going to go into is the first dynasty. Now, this is considered possibly myth or legend, or a history mix. It's almost like rice in a bowl of soup. You get a little bit of rice, you get a little bit of soup, and just tastes so good. Yes. Southern. Gotta get rid of that Southern accent. Okay. So, the hero is a man by the name of Yu. Not you, me. Not me, you. Yu! His name was Yu the Great, who tamed the flood with a shovel, stubbornness, and possibly divine help. So we're going to go through this. So ready your rice patties and grab... It's almost like I want to go Southern. On all this, I don't. I'm going to try to figure out a better accent. And again, maybe we won't go accent because maybe I'm just going to go completely Southern in everything I do. And I don't want to do that. No. Let's be different. I want this one to be different. So let's see what we can do. So let's ride the waves into time. Here we go. Okay. Say you're stepping through. Have you ever seen a rice paddy before? Or not rice paddy. A rice field. It's basically the water is up to the plant of rice. Like you'll see the rice coming out of the water. That's it. So it's water, soil underneath, and you know what's interesting is by planting rice into water, one, it grows great, but also it doesn't die in floodlands. The land can flood, and yet you still have rice that's able to grow. Now, too much water would be horrible, but yeah. So let's try. I'm going to try a new accent. I'm going to try to stay away from the southern. The Yellow River, or as the locals call it, Zhōngguó. Don't let the name fool you. It's more golden brown than yellow, thanks to the fine, dusty stuff called loess. Now, loess is a silt blown in from Central Asia, and gives the river its muddy look and its super rich soils, perfect for early farming. But here's the catch. This river is the trickster. That's right. Cannot be trusted. They call it China's sorrow because it floods like an over-enthusiastic bathtub. One moment, you are planting millets, the plants. Next, you are floating downstream, and your ox and your cart are as well. It takes you by surprise. So that is why it's called the Chinese sorrow. You do not know what you're going to get next. Still, early settlers, they set up shop right here about 5,000 years ago, building tiny villages and developing agriculture. Why? Because despite the dangers, loess soil is so fertile. It practically begs to be planted. Further south, you go down south, there is the Yangtze River. Yangtze River. Longer, deeper, and warmer. The Yangtze was better for rice, while the Yellow River was ideal for grain, like millet and wheat. Now, let's zoom in on me. Come on. Okay, too close. Let me zoom out a little bit. I will give you a map. Let's zoom way out to a map. This is China. Yes. This is the region we are talking about. Very, very rich soils. As you can see from this satellite image, very green and lush. Perfect for wheat and for grain. Now, this is great, but I will get there when I get there. Okay, let's stay right here. Let's stay in China. Now, again, the first dynasty is only going to be a small area, and we'll get to that. We will get to that. Okay. I'll get there. Okay, here we go. Early China was boxed in by natural barriers. To the north, what was this? This is the Gobi Desert. So, you want to stay where you can plant. You want to stay very south of the Gobi Desert. Stay away. Not very good. Now, to the west, let's come over here. What is over here? This is what you call the Himalayas, or Tibet. So in the Himalayas, very tall. This is like Mount Everest tall. To the east, what do we have to the east? Well, we have the ocean. That's right, the Chinese Sea. Yes, it is very, very treacherous on that sea. So, now what about south? Let's go south. These barriers. What is south? Wait a minute. If we're right here, and we move south, more rivers. No, it's an ocean. It's a sea. Not good. Not if we're going to plant. So we need to stay in this nice little area right here. Okay. But as the settlers started to come in, they started to set up shop. And there's different groups that, okay, you like You know, in the United States, you have the Native Americans. They have all these different tribes that were all over the place. Well, this is the great thing. You actually have tribes all over China. That's right. Not Native Americans, not exactly native, yet they were. It was very, very early in the history. So, yes, they were setting all over this place. So, these natural barriers didn't just keep invaders out, they kept the Chinese in. Now, at the time, not called Chinese. They were very different. But, this is great news. Okay, so while Mesopotamia was fighting for more land over here, in this area, and well, Egypt was down here in this area, they were also borrowing ideas from us. That's right. We brought ideas into India and Pakistan, or what would become India and Pakistan, and Persians. Now the Persians, they got pretty far. Actually the Greeks. Mixing voices there. The Greeks, they got far as well. So, let's go back to China. Okay, here we go. Here we are. Yes, right here. Okay, this was perfect for making our own, being our own people. We were inventing our own things. From bronze tools, yes, that's right. Everyone else was doing bronze tools. We were learning it as well. How about the silkworm farming? Wait a second. Wait. Did you just say silkworm farming? That's right. Silkworm farming. Where you actually take the silk from the buttocks of a little worm. That does not sound good. But it was. It was. It made many of our clothing. Very nice. Very silky. Oh, so nice. It was. All without knowing the Sumerians from the Sphinx. We had no clue what that was. Or the pyramids compared to democracy. Nope. Didn't know what it was at all. It all started with these rivers, though. The Yellow and the Yangtze River. Now, speaking of rivers being mischievous, let's also talk about something else. Long before, you ever heard a guy named Confucius? Sometimes he's confusing. Long before dragons danced on the rooftops, there was a belief in one God, a heavenly God named Shangdai. Yes, before polytheism, meaning many gods, blossomed throughout China, early Chinese people believed in Shangdi, which was one supreme ruler who ruled over the universe. And mortals made us feel powerful, and sometimes we felt the wrath too. And like so many ancient cultures, the Chinese had a very big story. Very big. Huge, you'd say. I think your president would say, huge. I think everything's huge with him. Holy cow. Okay. But, here's the great thing. There was a time, let me tell you a story. A story within a story. You know, I'm telling you history, I'm going to tell you the story. It's inside history. Once upon a time, the earth was drowned in chaos. Literally, it was. The rivers flooded so badly, they swallowed up the cities. The crops were gone. The hope was gone. It wasn't just bad rainy season. It was a cosmic flood. Holy cow! Yeah, that's right. Why? Well, they say it's because humans sinned. The world had fallen out of harmony with heaven's will. But, here's the thing. China, we were very good people. We were very good, very moral. Why did it affect us? We weren't horrible like the Mesopotamians. That's right. They're the ones with the big old towers, the ziggurats. No. We were very moral people. Then entered Gun. Gun was a stubborn official who tried to stop the floods by piling up dams made of magical earth, he called it. It's called Xi Rang. So, spoiler alert, it failed. The waters just laughed and kept rising. So he built bigger dams, and they failed. Over and over and over again, and everyone was chased up the mountains, nearing like the Himalayas area too. Now, but then his son stepped in. That's right. Unlike his daddy, not you, me, no, not me, you. Why? You. That's right. Why? You. You didn't try to block the water. Oh, no. He got clever. He dug canals, redirecting the water out, flowing into the sea. That's right. Maybe the river, the Yellow River, might have been from that. Or maybe the Zhōngguó River was from that. It took 13 years. But when you finally succeeded, the people cheered, the skies cleared, and Yangtze, pleased at last, restored balance. Now, this is a question. Was it that you, Mr. You, was it that he built canals? Or was it that the waters were receding at the time? Maybe it took 13 years to come down. Who knows? I mean, I wasn't there. Were you there? I don't think you were there. So, that's what the scrolls say. And interesting enough, the scrolls weren't written at that time. They were written afterwards. So the legend was passed on to people who wrote it down. Okay, it's an epic survival story. It had faith. It had engineering. I mean, man, could you come up with a better story? It's great. And it sets the stage for one of China's earliest and most debated dynasties. That's right. The Zhai Dynasty. Now, the question, is it legend or reality? I'm going to let you decide. I will tell you about it and you can decide if this is legend or myth. Legend or reality? I know I said myth last time. I was wrong. Ooh, okay. So, legend or reality? Here we go. The Zhai Dynasty. Our next step on this grand adventure dates back to 2070 and goes until about 1600 BC. BC. It's the first dynasty in Chinese history. Or is it? Who knows? I wasn't there. You weren't there. We've already established this. Okay. So here's the thing. For centuries, most historians through the Zhai Dynasty were as real as a unicorn playing Mojang. Yeah, you know those unicorns. Yeah, before the floods, there were unicorns all over the place. Big horns and everything. Yeah, totally. No. I don't know. I wasn't there, right? Okay. So there are no written records from that time. Just legends passed along. And dusty bamboo books like the Shikzi or the Book of Documents. Oh, that's a great one. But that was written like 100 years afterwards. And guess who found it? None other than you the Great. Flood tamer, hero, and possible China's first hydraulic engineer? Something like that. And after the land stopped drowning, Yu was offered the throne by the people. They were so happy that he would make the canals, to make the water rush out, away from land, and we could live again, outside the mountains, down in the hills, down the valleys. I mean, imagine that. Being prompted for actually doing your job. Oh, sorry, being promoted for actually doing your job. Wild, huh? Yeah, totally. Yu was seen by his people as having a divine birthright. He was not conquered. But he wasn't given his job because of his dad Gun. Gun didn't do anything. All of his dams fell down. They failed. But Yu, he smarted out. He got the water out. So, the Z rulers ruled, for centuries, we're told, until the last king. His name was Jie, J-I-E. He grew cruel, corrupt, very much not a nice guy. And people rebelled, and in came the new dynasty, the Shang. We're going to talk about that later on. But here's the thing. Is any of this real? Well, in 1950s, archaeologists in China uncovered a site called the Erlitu in Henan province. It dated back to the supposed Z period. They found palaces, bronzeware, roads, signs. Yeah, stop signs like those. Yeah. No. Oh, not those signs? Oh, picket signs. Yeah. No. Other signs of early urban planning. So, could this be the Z capital? It could be. It could be. Never mind. It could be. Yes. Some say yes. Others are more cautious, calling it a Bronze Age culture without royal proof. That's what they call it. That's the official term. Bronze Age culture without royal truth. I just call it Z. That's right. It's the Z dynasty. But the timing, and location, and the artifacts all whisper one thing. There's more truth in these myths than we thought. So maybe Yu the Great wasn't just a bedtime story. Maybe he was the original civil engineer. Or maybe, just maybe, he's both. Okay, that's it. That's 22 minutes. Well, I said 30 minutes? Okay, let's do a recap. I'll go over a little bit of what I was talking about. So, what did we uncover today in the Adventure Box podcast of ancient China? Okay, let's go with three things. That China's geography, the rivers, the Los soil, and the mountains shaped one of the world's oldest civilizations. That's right, because even in Babylon, taken over, Mesopotamia, taken over, Persia, taken over, Egypt, that's an old one, that's a very old one, we're just one of the old ones. Egypt, that's like us. Greece actually, they started off on an island, Crete, and then expanded on mainland. So they're fairly old. They were taken over, but they still survive today. So we are one of the oldest civilizations. You could say almost a cradle of civilization. It's where everything sprung from there. Just grew from there. Like a rice plant. Whoop. That's right. Here's the second thing. Learn another thing. The early Chinese belief may have included a monotheistic God and a universal flood. I've heard other people talk about this. I mean, see, Persia, Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Israelites, but they're over next to the Mediterranean. Yeah, way over there. Everyone's over there. We're all alone. How did we hear about this flood and write about this major flood? We didn't talk to them for a long time. It was a long time since we talked to them. It echoes through all ancient cultures, which is really cool, really interesting. But it had differences, how we told it and how others told it. So also very interesting as well. The third thing, that the Z Dynasty, X-I-A, Z, long dismissed as legend, may have left fingerprints behind in the dust. That's right. It's like a criminal through the night, leaving marks from their hands, pieces of their hair, little pieces of evidence that they actually came and robbed your house. Along with the unforgettable legend of you, not you, me, not you, you the Great. These ancient stories don't just entertain, they remind us of humanity's eternal dance with nature and desire for order. And you could even say, hope that one person, just one, can change the course of history, much like you can. You may be listening to this, but you actually may change history in the future. Change the past, no, change history, past and future, in the future. You can do that. I hope you do. And I hope to hear from you soon. Again, this is Captain Zach Edwards signing off. I hope that wasn't offensive. I actually appreciate that voice. That's the first time I've ever heard that voice come out of my mouth. So I'm excited to see what happens next time as we get back into this adventure with, we got to give him a name. You know what? I'm going to call him You, the Lesser. You is my voice for this class. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope it wasn't too cringeworthy. Please let me know. Put them in the comments below. Let's give you a engagement question. What do you think? What were the actual legends? Was there actually a flood in ancient times in China? Does China actually have records of it yet? Well, they have stories of it. Do you actually believe that they actually had a flood? Do you actually believe that somebody was being credited, you the Great, for getting all that water out of there? What are your thoughts? What is the balance between myth and legend? Is there actually reality in it? Tell me some other ones that you might think of when you think of legends that were actually true, or legends that weren't true. Please tell me that. Put them in the comments below. I want to know what you think, and I'll share this again in one of the next episodes. Whatever you put down, I'll share a little bit about it, my thoughts on what you say. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.